I think very plainly the Bible gives us the tithe is 10%, and I think that's a good starting point and good starting place in how we give. The New Testament never repeals that. Paul tells us that the Lord loves a cheerful giver, and that we're not to give begrudgingly. But what Paul is not arguing against, that we're not called to give. I think it was assumed that Christians were still tithing and Christians were still giving. Otherwise, I think it would have been a pretty significant thing, and we would have seen something in the New Testament to say, you no longer have to do this. That which God's people did throughout their entire history, for God to say, you don't have to do this anymore, that would be significant. Jesus, in expanding upon this, though, throughout his ministry, seems to say that it's not just giving the bare minimum, the lowest common denominator, but it's giving as we can, being generous. And so I think the New Testament principle, why I say 10% is a good starting point, is the New Testament principle is really that principle of generosity. So the question that people need to ask themselves is, am I being generous with what God has entrusted to me? And while that certainly entails our money, entails our treasures, it also entails our talents and our gifts and our time. And so that's a simple answer. We could spend a lot more time talking about that, but I hope that suffices for the time being.